Hey guys, what's up? It's FilterSC here, and I'm back for another video. This time it's going to be a little bit different. We're going to talk about a couple things, as well as kind of what I'm learning right now, or what I'm going through with my learning process. So the first thing is, for anybody that's kind of followed my stream, and has tuned into that and is like getting excited for Bronze to Masters, or maybe you don't follow my stream, you just follow my YouTube channel, and you're getting stoked about Bronze to Masters coming up next month. There's a slight problem with that. I'm not Masters yet. And for anybody that's wondering about my schedule, I've kind of got off track from the 11 to 7 that I want to do. There's a couple reasons for that. Number one, StarCraft is it's a taxing game. I've managed to build up my stamina now, and I'm starting to get, over 6 hours in the 7-hour period of straight games, and I'm getting 25-ish games in a day. But I'm starting a little bit later than I want to. I want to try to get back to starting a little bit earlier, but a lot of that comes through depression and that kind of stuff, just taking its toll over time, as it kind of does. So I've started a little bit late, but on the bright side, I've managed to do a lot of good things, and stream like a lot more often than I was, which is great. Just on a personal level, I feel like that's a little bit of a victory. That being said, the one thing I said is I was going to start, I was going to play Terran for this week, I was going to play Protoss the next, and then Zerg, and all the things are going to be good, and I did that on the assumption that it would take me like 3 or 4 days to pull my Terran back up to Masters level and get Masters on Terran, and then I could learn, I could get my Protoss back, and, I could get Masters on Protoss, no problem, and then finally, my Zerg's always been pretty good. I get Masters on Zerg, no problem. No. Very wrong, actually. There's a combination of things. Number one, Masters right now is about 1.6% of the player base instead of like 8% like it was at the start of Heart of the Swarm. So it's kind of back to where it was at Wings of Liberty, where it's around 2% for most of Wings of Liberty. And, as Masters for all that time in Wings, but there's a couple of other contributing factors as well. The first thing is there's a smaller player base now than there was in Wings. It's not too small. It's still, there's a lot of people playing, but it's gotten a little smaller, which means, that 2% is a little tougher to get, right? As well as on top of that, people are getting a lot of people are getting multiple accounts and stuff now, right? Like I have a whole bunch of accounts, and the vast majority of that is because I do the Bronze Masters thing, right? So I've had a few accounts active for a while, because sometimes I want to play with nobody knows who I am. The account I'm playing on right now just happens to be a barcode. I think I have another barcode account as well, so. Well, I don't think I know I do, right? But what that means is, of that 1.6% of the player base, half of it, or maybe a little less than that, are people that have 2 Masters accounts, right? So there's that trims that number from 1.6 down to like 1%, or maybe even lower. You don't quite know, right? So you have to be in like the top 1% of the player base to get there, maybe top 1.1 or whatever. But you have to be damn good to get Masters, and I'm not right now. Very simple, right? So with that being said, I'm enjoying the game a lot more now than I really ever have before. I find the game really rewarding. I find all my losses and my victories are usually pretty clear-cut, why something happened. I don't feel like I'm getting robbed in any of the games because I messed something up slightly or whatever. That being said, I can understand from the other race's perspective, Terran's got a lot of stuff it can do, so I can see the frustrations of like kind of slightly mistiming a scout or messing up a little bit and losing. Give you an example, whereas the Zerg I'm playing right now he might have been doing like the roach push or something. That might have been his goal here, but right now he's just macroing up, and I'm doing a build that is going to punish him very hard for what his build is, and it involves a drop in the natural, which we'll take a look at, as well as Hellion run by. It's hard to deal with. You can see he manages to block out the Hellions for a little while, but I just pick up my drop, go to his main, and then I'm going to run my Hellions over to his third, and it takes a lot out of him for him to hold it. On top of that, at home you've got a lot of stuff that you've got to macro out, right? So again, we're going to drop back here, and then we're going to run our Hellions to his third. We could even run them to the... no, he's actually got a block, so running to the natural wouldn't work. But the point of it is, I'm having a lot of fun playing the game. I'm really enjoying myself playing StarCraft 2, probably more so than I ever have. Like, straight up more, I feel like I'm enjoying the game more than I ever have before. And there's a ton of reasons for that, and I feel like The way Terran's played right now, you can see I kind of failed my pickup there. The way Terran plays right now feels really good. To me at least, I'm really enjoying it. You know, all the matchups feel good. TBT is a little wonky right now, but hopefully the meta will settle down there. But I think I'm getting settled in that term. But that does mean that, like, I'm not even Masters with Terran right now, and I'm playing, you know, playing hard. I'm playing 25-30 games a day. Looking, you know, I spent this weekend I didn't stream, and I spent a ton of time just working on my TVZ with a couple of practice partners. Just smashing game after game after game, same build, trying to get better. Trying to get my execution up because it's a very technical build. You can see, like, I've completely dicked up. I have too much money. My upgrades are late. I don't have. I'm supposed to have another factory already. You know, these barracks should have probably all been finished and getting reactors by now. So tons of mistakes. But we're enjoying the game, and it's going to take a little bit of time here, guys. I can't put out a Bronze to Masters series without being Masters. That's the bottom line. I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to start a Bronze to Masters series without being Masters. I just can't do it. I need to play the hell out of Terran until I get good enough that I can pull it off. So I hope that you come into my stream, watch me struggle a little bit, watch me succeed a little bit, and watch me learn and try to get better. But right now I'm enjoying the game an absolute ton. I think it's fantastic right now. But you really have to try hard to improve. And I'll give you an example in terms of the what have I learned today. The biggest things that I've done two things recently that I've never done before when it came to StarCraft 2 because I didn't need to. And really even a third thing, alright? I'm doing build orders with a very specific goal. And I know the timings for most of the build that I'm doing. I'm trying to get a lot better at that because that was simply before I could get to Masters, like just making like Marines and stuff like that. Like it wasn't a problem. I could just dick around with a ton of Marines and go win. Can't do that anymore. That won't work. I have to be doing builds that are a little bit more tailored towards my opponents, which means the Bronze to Master series itself is going to have to evolve a little bit and start introducing some of the concepts of build orders and, you know, tuning the build order up and all that stuff. Which is cool. Like, I'm excited to do that. Before, I didn't really have to tune that hard. I could just kind of get away on my own natural play. It doesn't work anymore like that. So I'm going to have to get a lot better in that sense. And the other two things are, first off, I wasn't using screen hotkeys. And so I couldn't quickly jump to my bases, which was... It's not too bad if you play Terran. This is actually really good saturation. I'm quite happy with that. It's not too bad if you play Terran, but it's really bad if you're playing, you know, Zerg or Protoss if you're not using camera hotkeys. So I'm starting to use them, and I'm actually getting really used to it. You know, I'm hitting my F2 key to jump to my main and throw down my buildings and stuff like that. I'm muling my natural more heavily because I'm just jumping to that with a hotkey and stuff like that. It's really good. No longer am I like muling out a patch in my main, right? Like, before I would have like one of these patches blown up by now with mules, but that's not happening. Probably going to kill off... Is this patch low? Yeah, you can see I'm muling this patch heavy. These two because they're on my natural, but nothing wrong with that really. And then the other thing is, and a lot of people don't know this, and I think we're going to do a completely separate video on this, but up until like I've been using this mouse now for it's a Razer Abyssus. And I really like it. It's a great mouse. It's lightweight. It doesn't have a lot of buttons on it. Functionally, it's fantastic. I really enjoy it. Looks like he was trying to attack me, but I don't think that's going to work out for him. Functionally, I really enjoy it. This move out, by the way, is about 2 minutes late, and we're going to talk about this after. But functionally, it's a great mouse. I really like it. However, there's one big problem. I couldn't get drivers to slow it down. My options in terms of DPI stepping was 450 DPI or 1800 DPI. And I didn't want to change the sensitivity too much in game because that messes with your pixel accuracy and stuff like that. So I was kind of frustrated. So I was using 1600 DPI, which is way too high to play StarCraft 2, and as a result, my micro was actually garbage. It was really bad. So what I did is I got a driver that let me drop that to about it's about 750-ish right now, which is obviously significantly slower, but that lets me be a lot more accurate when I'm boxing, right? Like, to give you an idea of dropping it, like, boxing this is about the same amount of space as boxing that, right? So I'm going to be a lot more accurate because I can now just box these units instead of boxing everything, when I go to split, right? It lets you be a lot more accurate when you go to split small portions of your army off. Whereas before, I'd be grabbing like that, and like, it'd be awful, right? So I'm able to micro a lot better, and I highly recommend, if you are playing StarCraft 2, go look it up, man. All the pros, like Maru, or not Maru, Marine King Prime, known for his marine splitting, he uses 450 DPI. The vast majority of pros, especially Terran pros, are going to be using really, really low DPI. If you're using high DPI, it's not beneficial to you. You're just making yourself inaccurate. I've noticed nothing but improvements since making the change. So just keep that in mind, guys. The other thing is, Counter-Strike players almost always use low DPI. There's almost nobody out there that uses a high DPI mouse. Even to the point with a game like Counter-Strike, all right, we're one full rotation, so going completely from the left to the right side of your mouse is supposed to only take you like 270 degrees in Counter-Strike. To give you an idea of how low your DPI should be, and some of those guys use huge mouse pads too, so I'm sure they're tuned a little differently, but yeah. Low DPI is better, guys, and I'm making these adjustments now because I want to get better, and I'm enjoying the hell out of the game. But let's go ahead and take a look at this push. As kind of a little bit of a bonus to the what have I learned today. Now, here's the thing. This is kind of ironic. Most of the Zergs I'm playing right now have kind of crappy creep spread, and the entire point, and they take the wrong 4th base too, by the way. The entire point behind this build is before 1-1 you want to clear creep, and then you want to be attacking with 2-2, and you should have blue flame, which I hope I grabbed. Maybe not. Where's my factory? It's all the way down here. Yeah, so my blue flame's halfway done. I believe I have +1 already finished for my mech, but I do need to start +2, which I didn't do. And you kind of hit with your +2 and blue flame, kind of all at the same time, right? Is the general idea. And the interesting thing here is, though, this Zerg has kind of pushed back his own creep by essentially not creep spreading, so I didn't really have to do any of that. But what happens a lot of the time is you push too soon, you don't wait for that 2-2, because that's when you want to start pushing and killing off bases on the Zerg. So anyway, we're waiting on 2-2. I'm going to take a couple of engagements because he kind of wasted all his banelings already, and it's pretty simple. You can see the supplies up here. He's got too many roaches, not enough lings, stay weaving mutas. I think this guy was a little thrown off by my composition and how poorly his initial engage went. And at this point he realizes he's lost, and he asked me, like, you know, how do I beat this? Which is pretty cool, because I've been trying to do this build for a long time, and it really is interesting because you're not using a lot of widow mines. But yeah, he wasn't able to shut down the initial attack, and a little bit of damage done and all that stuff. And he had a kind of a bad comp at the end of the day, and we were able to win. So hopefully going forward, guys, you guys understand if the Bronze Masters ends up getting delayed by just a little bit. But I am having a lot of fun playing StarCraft 2, and I'm playing an absolute ton. In fact, I might even just show you like my match history to give you an idea of how much I'm playing. But we are, in terms of my own skill, you know, I'm maybe 75% of the way through Diamond right now. But yeah, here's an example. This is only today's games, and I'm not even sure how many are on a page. I think it's like 25. So we're approaching like 30 games. You can see all my customs from the other day, and again, just a ton of customs the day before. Trying to get better at TVZ. Pretty much every one of these customs, by the way, was a TVZ. Well, apparently there's an error in my match history. That's how bad it was. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you understand. And just as a last kind of footnote to this, I have been working a little bit on a depression video, but I don't want to do it as just like kind of a quick and easy, like dirty video like this one happens to be, because this is more of an update and kind of a little bit of what have I learned today. I don't want to do anything quick and dirty. I want to make it very good, because I've talked to quite a few people so far that have had problems dealing with depression and that kind of stuff, and you know, it's unfortunate that I couldn't get it out quickly after the Robin Williams thing happened, but at the same time, I only really want to help people and bring awareness to the issue. I really don't want to quote-unquote capitalize on somebody else, but I do think, you know, Robin Williams was a gamer, and You know, his whole family's gamers, and he was obviously using games to escape from certain things. So it's an interesting dynamic there, because realistically, you look at his life, he had a lot of things going for him, but he obviously felt like he'd had enough. So you know, everybody, literally everybody has their battles. Some people battle financially. Some people battle just themselves trying to get up in the morning because there's, you know, something wrong with them. Some people battle, shitty parents if you're younger. Some people battle a crappy roommate, whatever. You know, maybe a job that just sucks the life out of you. It doesn't matter what it is. Anything can take you out. So I really want to talk about it, but I want to talk about it in detail, and I want to talk about it cleanly. So we're going to make that a nice high quality video rather than some of this stuff that we've been putting out lately, unfortunately. And I'm super excited for the new Bronze Masters because I'm playing the game a lot right now, really enjoying it. It's a lot of fun, and I hope you guys will be a little bit patient with me, because hey, it is going to take some time to get my skill back to where it needs to be, but we're having a lot of fun with it, guys, and I will see you later on.